This is written and directed by Woody Allen, and it stars Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams. While I'm not a huge fan of Woody Allen's films, I do enjoy them, and he's one of the better directors of romantic comedies. When this film was released, I knew that I wanted to see it, and with all the positive reviews, it only made me want to go more. So we have seen it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I thought it was one of Woody Allen's best films in a long time. Midnight in Paris is the story of a writer from Hollywood who's in Paris with his fiancee. Coincidentally, the fiancee's parents are there as well as a rather arrogant friend of his fiancee's. And it all combines for some pretty traditional Woody Allen humor. It does highlight Paris and really shows a lot of great film footage of the city. I think that's worth watching as well. This is a tough story to review because you can easily cross the line of giving away too much of the story and giving away the surprise and the fun of watching it. But suffice to say that at midnight in Paris, Owen Wilson is transformed into another world where he ultimately learns a lot about himself, his relationship with his fiancée, and what he wants to do with his life. I think it's one of Owen Wilson's best performances of his career. He normally plays some pretty lightweight comedy pieces and does them very well. This is a little more serious for him, and I think he does an outstanding job. Overall, I thought it was a very strong film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I liked it too, although there were a few things that kind of made it a little bit less enjoyable, and it's kind of little things and some big things. For me, the relationship between Rachel McAdams and Owen Wilson, it's supposed to be one of those things where, like, you know that they're not meant to be together, but in the film, it was a little too obvious that they weren't supposed to be together, and you began to question how they even got together in the first place. And as for how he was transported to this other world at midnight, there was never any explanation for why or when this started to happen or whatever. They just kind of give it to you, and while it is funny and ultimately a good time, you ultimately walk out of the theater with a lot of questions and you never get them answered. So while it was fun, you still end up scratching your head. Performances are strong across the board, and I would agree that this is Owen Wilson's better films, probably his best film that I have seen him in. And overall, I want to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars and recommend that anyone see it if it comes to a theater near you.
One thing you didn't mention that we talked about was the costumes. They did a
Yeah.
fantastic job with the costumes as they recreate 1920s Paris with a lot of the famous writers and artists of the time. It's a film that's a lot of fun. It is not for really young people because you do have to be far enough along in life that you know the artists and writers of that era in Paris, that era being the 1920s, to have some appreciation of the film and pick up a lot of the humor. It does not require you to be someone that is, absolutely up to the minute on all of your Hemingway, etc., but some knowledge of who the characters are and who the writers of that era were would be definitely helpful to truly enjoying this film. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it and would say worth seeing on the big screen, and if you miss it on the big screen, definitely see it as a rental.